Hey, what's up guys? This will be the tutorial on how to replace a 2004 Toyota Corolla S fuel pump. And I have already removed the fuel pump and it's laying on the ground, but I'll show you the steps I took to get to this point. So first thing you'll need to do when replacing a fuel pump is you'll need to remove this negative terminal, so your fuel pump and your car computer is not freaking out or doing anything weird. Your fuel pump will be located underneath the back seat. Back seat is fairly easy to remove. It's held in by a couple of clips, so you'll have to grab and yank on it. Bam, there you go. There's another one on the other side. There you go. And you'll have access to your fuel pump. You'll find this metal plate. It's fairly easy to remove it. You'll just grab a screwdriver, or even if you pull this out, you can grab it like this with your hand. That's how I did it, and just pull this thing off. You'll have this black silicone all the way around, so it's fairly easy to break it. Once you remove that, you'll have access to your fuel pump. This is a 2004 Toyota Corolla S. The fuel pump module looks a little different. On the older 01s and 02s and 03s, you'll only have one line and one wiring harness. This one has another line and a pressure sensor. This little thing is like $200. And it's fairly easy to remove everything. Since I just reinstalled everything, I'm not going to be removing it, but all you have to do is get in there with the screwdriver like that. Same thing on the other side. And this, just kind of pretty much give it some force, it will come out. Same thing with the fuel pump harness. Just grab it really hard and just bam, pull it up. Same thing with the pressure sensor. To remove these yellow retaining clips, all you have to do is go like that, bam, and then just pull it out. It'll just come out. And to remove the hose, you have to pull this retaining clip all the way out. Next step is to remove all 8mm bolts that hold the fuel module to the fuel tank. You can use a screw gun or the screwdriver. Now grab the fuel module and slowly start pulling it up. Remember, there's a fuel filter and a float, so you'll have to tilt it and slowly work it out of there so you don't damage anything on the fuel module. And here you go, you have your fuel module out. Now you can start removing the fuel pump. And there's your retainers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I was taking it off, all I did is just pried it open all around and slowly worked it off. Now go ahead and remove a plastic rubber piece that sits at the bottom of the fuel pump. Then take a screwdriver and put it under the plastic part of the fuel filter and pop off the metal retaining clip that holds the filter to the fuel pump. And now you can just remove the fuel filter from the fuel pump. Now you can start removing fuel pump from the fuel pump module. To get it removed, you'll need to undo that little wire harness. I just pushed up on the little black tab with a screwdriver. Your fuel pump will still be held in by this little fitted O-ring that sits inside that little plastic piece. And to get that out, all I did is I took a screwdriver, kind of gave it a little force, and I pushed it out. And I was able to pull out my old fuel pump like this. Here's my new fuel pump in the bag. Got the Delphi Technologies. So next step is to pretty much install all the new O-ring pieces on this new pump. This piece goes on first. Rubber O-ring. Then this plastic little cap. It sits on there fairly snug, so you need to use a little bit of force. So I'll compare both of the parts. the old one and the new one. Yep, looks right. Bam. Snapped right in. So now I have my new pump well sitting in there. It's not falling out. Wiring harness clipped in. Next step is to assemble the filter and a white closure piece. And reinstall your filter. This is how fuel gets inside the fuel pump. So this just goes over that like that. Sits on there fairly snug. And once you have installed your filter, this little metal clip that goes over this, all you have to do is push it back down. You gotta have some force. So you gotta push it down like so. Next step is to put this rubber piece back onto here. It's very easy to forget it. Should be sitting there nice and tight. And this would be the last thing. We'll put this plastic cap. Alright. That's it. This little fuel pump is replaced. It's $190. So yeah, to put it back in, you kinda just have to get the float in there first. And the filter as well. Bam. Like so. Gonna have to play with it. Be gentle. Make sure your rubber O-ring is sitting on there tight. Bam. Fuel pump is back on. Next step would be to put this metal piece back on. Next step is to plug all the hoses and wiring back in. This is your pressure sensor. And this little thing, believe it or not, around $200. They are a little bit of pain in the butt. Bam. This hose here, replace it. Yellow retaining clip. Now I've installed the pressure sensor. Wiring. Bam. And whatever this thing is, I think it's the fuel pump. Alright, let's see if new fuel pump actually works and if I have connected and installed everything correctly. Car should start right up. Great. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions as you're doing this little project, feel free to comment and I'll answer any questions. Thank you.